The deeper I go into my own journey of self-love, the more I fully realize, like which means to see the truth. That's what the word realize means.
This is the deep dive with Adam Roa.
Once upon a time, I used to look, at the ocean and the birds, or a dog, or a child, or someone, a lover that I was in love with, and I would see God in them, and I would fall into that. I would fall into the sunset. I would fall in love with them. And the more I started to develop my own self-love, I started to realize that I wasn't falling, because I was just seeing myself. I was standing in love. I was standing for love. I was recognizing that what I was seeing was me. And the first experiences where I met God in those ways, like the moments I'll never forget, it was like literally getting brought to my knees at the realization that through self-rejection, through self-punishment, through self-harm, I was rejecting, the miracle that exists inside of me. And it was no longer about me. It was about the fact, it was no longer about my concept of self. It was the embracing that God exists in me and works through me. And it's my responsibility to love that, which is the least all of us can do. We can't fathom how loved we are. We can't. It's not cognitively possible for us to fathom. We live in a universe where everything we choose to be, every wish we have, every prayer we offer is granted. If you're not experiencing that, it's just because you're not conscious of the thoughts that you're projecting out into the world beyond you. But that is the truth of how loved we are. It's unconditional. Truly, truly, truly is unconditional. And that's what we are. And it's so unconditional. And this is the crazy paradox of living in this 3D reality, or for you guys, maybe 5D or 10D, whatever realities you're living in here on Earth's floor, is that we're so loved in such an unconditional way that we get to choose what our life looks like. And I guess for me, that's how I've reconciled my boundaries and the choice of like choosing my own adventure, choosing the sorts of relationships I want to be next to and close to, what friendship means to me. Like sometimes I'll challenge people when they're like, oh, you're my friend, or that person's my friend. And I'll say like, really, why? Because I think a lot of people just have friendships that are convenient. They go to the same gym, or they went to school together, and therefore they're a friend. Like I try and be really intentional about what friendship means to me. I don't have a huge amount of friends for that reason, because I want to, that's sacred to me. But that doesn't mean that the God that's in me isn't in all things. It's just the recognition. It's like fully being able to receive the fact that that's what I am, and that is actually limitless. I think it's painful as a human being to try and reconcile our infinite nature with our finite experience. There are conditions to this experience, time and gravity, and all of these things are conditional. To be able to embrace that limitlessness, and then to recognize that through the conditions and the boundaries, that's actually what creates meaning. Because as human beings in this experience, if I was going to be Nicole Gibson forever, or if I was to sleep with every single person I was attracted to, or if I was to be friends with every single person, all of a sudden nothing would have any meaning. So the only way that we can really find sentiment, I believe, and sacredness is through having some sort of boundary, and that's actually bringing us closer to God, through this human experience. And it's like we're made in the face and image, but we're also imperfect at the same time.